YouTube land. It's another dark side video, so to speak. And I know my accent changes a lot, and I've already given a full explanation of this, and I'm actually very honestly sick and tired of having to explain it. As I said, it seems like America has a lot of discretion, and it's not America's fault. A lot of things grow in America, and it takes a lot of time to catch people who are right on the edge of the law. Do you understand that it's very simple to make calls, make false accusations, false police reports? I could do it, but I don't. I just understand the operation. There's a way to exploit it. It's very bad and it needs to be addressed, but how to address it is a very touchy subject, because if you over control, then every last call could be taken as real. Every last call is going to court. That is insanity. No one has money for this. It's like OCD. The other extreme is you kind of let everything go and just kind of go, well, no one's life is in danger. Call us if there's a gun. And that's about it, which is probably the safest and most logical and sane route on the level of law enforcement, which is the difference between being a police officer and a peacekeeper. Now, probably could barely hear a word I'm saying right now. This compatible but not exact phone case. Hear me out here on this. Anything that I have addressed in any extreme has been for YouTube. It is satire acting. Read the about once again. I must now address the fact that there are people known as snowflakes in pop culture and subculture, alternative cultures, that go crazy over a single word. I personally call them keyword trigger happy psychos. That was nice. Oh, well, aren't you a keyword associative complex? And the real type of there's several studies. The real type of vocal phenomenon, like in white noise, traffic noise. For instance, like I've been trying to use for my friend's example here. I haven't posted anything, so I'll keep it anonymous. His spirits keep telling him to make me leave. Now, every so often while I'm transcribing, now for those who aren't familiar with the term, that's effectively Google voice to text. Is the action it's doing is known as transcribing. It transcribes, which is rooted in the word scribe, because those who write were taught to write, or taughten would be the proper high English word for it. An associative complex of linguistics, would be the scribe writes down what he is told to write, or the scribe writes down to make a copy. And then in so, the rudimentary processes of scribing and siring scribes,
moment passing traffic. I'm not sure if this microphone is sensitive enough because I have picked up a bizarre cross pattern, but only in this microphone. It doesn't show up when I connect one of the Bluetooth devices. I have a headset and I used to have two Bluetooth speakers that were also connectable through auxiliaries, and also multi-point Bluetooth, since I have three devices to connect to these three at the time devices, my headphones and the two speakers via Bluetooth. And I could do a cross analysis of the entire frequency spectrum. It takes up a lot of space, and I only have screen capture for one phone. It would take actually one more. Hold on for the whole three consultation, because I'm sure there's a lot of people on the psychoanalysis side of things, and I actually take this into account. Anyone could be. That's the problem with interpretation. So anyone who reads or watches this video later, that's doing a critique of some sort. This is where I break fourth wall, although technically in a fourth wall in this video. And I'm talking directly to someone who would psychoanalyze such a thing, or just a critic. Being a critic to critique is a type of analysis. Now, I'm looking at assessment is my action to come back. So why three devices? Trilinear topography. Audio topography. Now, I've done the notes on a separate device. That's why all three have been used. And it also shows my progress, what I've started. So, these people who, along the way, with linguistics and striving and Rovskit, you always take a step back and make it sound like nothing is going on. That's a mind step. Do you understand? That's an example I just gave. So, that's the action of breaking the fourth wall. Is effectively a mind step, where this is where the context is, and suddenly you step completely out of context, out of character, and say, hey, by the way, this is how I sound if I force myself to speak American. And that microphone effect can come up differently between the three devices, including isolating audio anomaly, which is groups of anomalies. I've got two opinions coming from, by the way, speaking on the side analysis. This is almost four-dimensional transcribing at this point, if you think about how many layers of information I'm presenting within the same context. And I've had two opinions out of precisely what others have had concern of. Just a slight, even a sudden draw. It never goes away, by the way. Can be seen as a sudden, what the fuck was that? By these snowflakes. There's many kinds of snowflakes. There's a funny notion, sub-note, and a side note of it. Snowflakes crystallize the very energy displaced into it. So whatever energy has been originally fucking with Toledo, which then I began engaging the same type of, and this is all proven science, by the way, the same pH warfare will change the crystalline form of water. Thank you, Japan. I do real research because I don't get paid for it. Anyone think that was something other than clearing a tobacco pipe out? That's called profiling. Hence my last 2 videos. It has occurred. Has been occurring. It's why I come out with my nice clothes and I'm like, this is not going to last well. Walking everywhere. Get real. Even my fucking Nike shoes are not gonna last fucking long with fucking gold fucking checks up on them. Okay? And I'm running into people down the street. Here's a reality check instantaneously. All on subject matter. I'm walking down the street and someone will say, hey, just when you're down low, da-da-da-da-da. Because their profile... I'm wearing a fucking backpacker's pack and a little under the weather, if not just par. But frankly, you'll find out how much pollution there is out there if you just walk, I don't know, give it 6 or 7 blocks. Go walk 6 or 7 blocks in high traffic. Go look at yourself in the mirror afterward. And have fun with that George Carlin freak out. Because it happens. Oh my god, I'm getting out of here. People freaking out over a zit. Demanding perfection. These are crazy fucks. Life is an accident. Is the ultimate answer to that notion, so to speak. But to come back to the original thing is, I'm fucking carrying my first European phone. Not first, but my first remaining. First, because it's number 1. This is my organization, so I didn't really transcribe that well to you. Let me reiterate. My first phone I carry is a Sony Ericsson from the European Union. €4,50 centa. €4.50, equivalent to about $6. That was a street replacement after my fancy X-Cover 3 was stolen. After having a conversation with a guy in Russian. In Ljubljana, Slovenia. I do that on purpose. I'm so sorry, Slovenia. It's a hit. For those who aren't familiar with it, that's called a shout out. Anyway, to continue. So yeah, the first replacement. Through customs, return home. How much you pay? It was $4.50. You got the U.S. official business in returning with a fucking emergency passport. Yeah, that's your only phone, huh? This is all you made it out of Europe with, huh? Oh, fuck, kid. No one fucking know. Not even the people who wanted to fucking halfway think know. What did go on? I never reported it stolen. I requested it be taken because someone was tracing it. And the Russians knew. And so did others. Let's put it that way. So that phone got to go run around for about 3 or 4 days. Actually, about a week before I finally... Someone else had attempted it. So I had to go through my tri-phase security check, which I use in the exact same architecture for everything. It's foolproof, really. If you hack one, the other 2 fucking know it. You hack 2 and the other one just goes, and the fucking center fucking piece that's read-only goes, clear all. And it's that simple. What an operating system that would be.
Because in these days of Tesla's dreams become nightmares. And going back to audio topography and phenomenon, Laurel. There's actually a percentage ratio. It's mathematical and statistic. It almost can't be called a hallucination. Other than the fact that this is what was actually said. But this is what half heard what was said, and the other half heard exactly something else. And that's what's interesting. They didn't hear Laurel. Those who listened to this heard either Laurel or the other fucking word. Which is completely different. So it wasn't like people hearing different phrases. That's not how a real study works. If that was the case, it would have been like, so people have so there's something else going on, would be the logical approach. But when half of them, well, whatever percentage, because, anytime you cut anything, it's always, anyway. One half of what really was, a half it's missing and a half it's not. Different logic, I digress. That's what that's called, by the way. So, it's the same way that audio topography works. So as I'm actually counter-assessing would not still be correct. I'm assessing an analysis. Critiquing the tools, logic, and viewpoints, and your very frame of reference, and how wide and deep it is. So, for instance, it took nearly yelling across the street. I wouldn't say yelling. Yeah, I actually tried to yell it across it as well, but whatever. That's the point. Nitpicking fucking also limitations. Your personal interpretation of the truth doesn't fucking matter. Do you want me to build you a fucking graph based on it and yours? How about I create a fucking graph system to measure your fucking graph systems? And any one that could ever be possibly created. Quantum technology can't take a step in living data. If you wanted to look at this entire consignment, I'm speaking to you wirelessly by vibrating the molecules in the air, which vibrate normally someone's eardrum. In this case, the microphone is effectively a artificial eardrum that resonates in alternating current across a base carrier band. University of Toledo is interested in my work, and it is all peaceful, but I also am aware of what else could be out there, and the development of technologies. Frankly, if this is the only rocket we got, can we go get another one and then actually fight like out in space instead? I mean, let's go. That's why the Boaske, but I digress. It's for a video of a future point. I actually do make these notes. And I actually do end up making the videos. It's funny. They're a little delayed, because 70% of my, let me put it, 3 out of 4 of my days are spent surviving. I got 1 day across those 3 days that I actually get work done. This all goes back to how I just called the police and the ones I was waiting for never showed up, and the officer that did show up had no idea. And he ended up asking mental health questions instead. Which can be reverse framed
as third-party profile, participation, or disposition, I can actually start info mining my own fucking, or the profile that would, well, technically would be my property in that informationary context. Speaking of, transcribe. It would be my property to go through and go, the fuck is this? Here's this documentation, how come none of that's in there? And look, let's find out where it came from. I can reverse fucking counterintelligence. Based upon the questions you ask, I can reverse profile the profile you have. All the time feeding you false flag information, which is all true information, but much like a giant fish, I will use both extremes to what there was no fish. I missed that time. It's called neutral speak, actually, and it reveals any extreme. And then I can engage those extremes with such tests. It's very simple diagnostic of information and consideration. So, I guess to sum this up, because this is the entire premise of this video, it's just this is the fact that's going on. Current events, so to speak. And the groundwork has been laid for all future development. So this is real or fake news? Nah, this is more like small lecture. Small lecture on fundamentals and associations, and how linguistics tie in to proper establishment of communication and premise and context. So, to be continued. Let's see how reality spins this shit and find out how real it is.